Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Sport This Week video, and in today's video I've got basketball, ice hockey, tennis, NFL, football, boxing, UFC and cricket news. If you are new around here though and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with the basketball news this week. So Warriors 123 to 109 versus Grizzlies, Heat 113 to 110 versus Timberwolves, Lakers 129 to 110 versus Magic, Celtics 126 to 102 versus Rockets, Warriors 110 to 105 versus Hornets, Heat 112 to 98 versus Lakers, Warriors 112 to 107 versus Jazz, Celtics 116 to 110 versus Clippers, Lakers 130 to 121 versus Hawks, Heat lost 124 to 190 versus Nuggets, Warriors 118 to 112 versus Blazers, and Heat 126 to 123 versus Jazz. And that is all of the basketball news. Moving on to the ice hockey news now. Bruins lost 3-2 versus Senators, Maple Leafs won 5-4 versus Blues, Canadiens lost 4-1 versus Lightning, Bruins lost 3-1 versus Devils, Red Wings won 5-4 versus Penguins, Red Wings lost 6-3 versus Sabres, Canadiens lost 7-2 versus Panthers, Maple Leafs lost 6-3 versus Coyotes, Bruins lost 4-3 versus Sabres, Canadiens lost 9-2 versus Capitals, Maple Leafs won 6-2 versus Avalanche, Red Wings won 4-2 versus Senators. And that is all the ice hockey news. Moving on to the tennis news now, where it's the United Cup this week, and Tsitsipas won 2-1 versus Dimitrov, Sakari won 2-0 versus Tomova, Tsitsipas and Sakari won 2-0 versus Andreev and Topalova, Zverev won 2-0 versus Lehecka, Nadal lost 2-1 versus Norrie, Swiatek won 2-0 versus Putintseva, Zverev and Siegemund won 2-0 versus Lehecka and Buzkova, Badoza won 2-1 versus Dart, Swiatek and Hurkacz won 2-0 versus Lomankin and Kulambayeva. And that is all the tennis news. Moving on to the NFL news now. Buccaneers won 19-16 versus Cardinals, Broncos part ways with Hackett, Watt has retired, Dobbs was week 17 starter, Buccaneers won 30-24 versus Panthers, Patriots won 23-21 versus Dolphins, Chiefs won 27-24 versus Broncos, Packers won 41-17 versus Vikings, and Rams lost 31-10 versus Chargers. And that is all the NFL news. Moving on to the football news now. So Brentford drew 2-2 versus Spurs, Fulham won 3-0 versus Palace, Wolves won 2-1 versus Everton, Newcastle won 3-0 versus Leicester, Brighton won 3-1 versus Southampton, Liverpool won 3-1 versus Villa, Brentford drew 2-2 versus I've already said that bit. Arsenal won 3-1 versus West Ham, Smith has been sacked as Norwich manager, Chelsea won 2-0 versus Bournemouth, Man United won 3-0 versus Forest, Fofana has joined Chelsea, Gakpo has joined Liverpool, Man City won 3-1 versus Leeds. Pele has unfortunately passed away, age 82, which is a real shame. Just like when Maradona passed away, they're two legends of sport, and it's sad to see them go. But their memories will always be in the sport, and they seem to inspire a lot of players from Brazil and around that area. And that Santos club that Pele has, that Pele had, and his I think family owned now or something, will. And has bought some amazing players from Brazil. But yeah, it's a very big shame to see him go. Ronaldo has joined Al Nassr, so a big move for him, but I mean, it's a bit of a shame as well, because that's kind of seen that's the end of Ronaldo's career, really, for him being big. I mean, you never know, he might come back and do, like, it might join AC Milan like Zlatan or something, but I think for the most part, that's kind of the end of his big part of his career, which is a shame, really, because he is a legend of sport as well. Liverpool won 2-1 versus Leicester, Brentford won 2-0 versus West Ham, Man U won 1-0 versus Wolves, Arsenal won 4-2 versus Brighton, Palace won 2-0 versus Bournemouth, Fulham won 2-1 versus Southampton, Man City drew 1-1 versus Everton, Newcastle drew 0-0 versus Leeds. The transfer window is open. Austin has joined Swindon, Villa won 2-0 versus Spurs, Forest drew 1-1 versus Chelsea, and Lens won 3-1 versus PSG. So I suppose that's also a Happy New Year as well. I didn't say in my last video because that was an interview, but yeah, Happy New Year as well, and that's kind of signified by the transfer window being open. And now moving on to the cricket news. Australia won by 182 runs versus South Africa, and Pakistan drew versus New Zealand. And that is all the cricket news, not much this week. Moving on to the boxing news, where there's also not much because there was no fights this week because of course, it being New Year and that. Matchroom signed Smith. Ajagba will fight Shaw on the 14th of January. Vargas will fight Foster on the 11th of February, and Itolma has joined Queensberry. And that is all the boxing news. Moving on to the final sport, which is the UFC news, which also has only a small bit of news, and that being Emmett will fight Rodriguez on the 12th of February. And that is all the news for this week. Hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you didn't, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.